Well, hello everybody. It's 5 o'clock in central Kentucky on a wet day, a wet afternoon, muggy as it was till about 10 minutes ago after it really rained really hard. Hope everybody is going to have a well, safe and healthy week ahead. So this is a new little thing. I don't expect anybody to even show up today. So if there's one person, that is one more than I expect to be on this little get together. But I'm going to do these every once in a while, hopefully weekly, depending on my travel schedule when that starts up, hopefully later on in the year. So again, hopefully everybody is safe and well wherever you are. I want to go over a couple of things just to let you know what to expect on these little videos. Got my little notebook, and we'll talk about notebooks here in a second. So mannerisms, yeah, just humor me on that one. So I want it to be a regular get-together, just to answer any questions you have, share some things with respect to writing, reading, and some other bits and pieces, and again, do that regularly. The writing process, what's my writing process? If you're a writer yourself, that's maybe different, may have some similarities there, but like anything else that is creative, it is very unique to the person, very personal. Publishing, I also own a company that I use to publish my stories, so I'm fairly familiar with all of the ins and outs of publishing. Not all of the ins and outs, but all the important ones, I guess. So again, if you are new to writing, I'll hopefully be able to answer some of your questions there. So publishing, marketing, that includes some social media bits and pieces, tricks of the trade, apps that I use either to write or to manage social media, those kind of things. So we can talk about those as the weeks go on. And then some other fun things. Pens, again, we'll talk about this just to fill in some time today. Pens and paper, coffee. I'm a bit of a coffee snob, favorite stuff. So we'll talk about those in the weeks to come. I want this to be a time of kind of a sharing group. Again, so for writers, share some of those resources. I want to put together also a resource of all the frequently asked questions that I've come across over the last 3 or 4 years doing this. So I will start a page on my website with all of the resources that I could possibly find from everywhere on the internet, so that I'll be able to share those with you. If you're a reader, especially of crime fiction, we can talk about some of the great crime fiction books. What are your favorites? I know mine. I have a couple of favorites. I used to have a couple of goldfish, Rebus and McCrae, just to give you an example. I did a bit of a crime thriller thing and killed them off a couple of weeks ago, so I have to replace Rebus and McCrae, unfortunately. For readers also, I'll be sharing some giveaways, whether that's sneak previews to some chapters in some upcoming books, or signed books, autographed books, pages of some of my handwritten manuscripts or edited pages in the process. Be happy to give some of those away as well. So I want to just go through some of the topics here from my book that I thought of. So if any of these kind of catch your eye, what I'll do is between these live sessions on Facebook, I will try and record a very short, 5 or 10 minute video, and I'll put those on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and start to use that and on a topic. And then when we come back, perhaps that next week, if you have any questions after watching that video, I'll be happy to answer those. So, in no particular order here, the things that, I like to read, what books, what authors, what genres do you like to read? We'll talk today actually about old-fashioned pen and paper. If you are writing or publishing, paper or plastic, do you do physical copies or ebooks if you're publishing? Again, computer programs and apps that I use. Let's talk about your favorite bookstore or library. Where do you like to sit and read? Where do you like to go shopping for your books? Amazon, KDP. Do you go wide, publish everywhere that you can, or stick with Amazon? Again, if you're a writer. Some New Year's resolutions, maybe, by the time we get out of quarantine here in November or something, we can talk about what we're going to resolve to do in 2021. Again, introduction to publishing tools and marketing tools, a little bit of podcast production. If you like podcasts, I did several podcasts years ago, actually. About maybe 15 years ago, I started podcasting Celtic music, and it was a fairly successful Celtic music podcast. So I learned a lot of things there with respect to podcasting. Things to help you grow your mailing list. I use MailChimp, so we'll talk about mailing lists and MailChimp in particular. Inspiration for stories. Where do I get my inspiration? Where do you, if you're a writer, where do you get your inspiration? Have you ever wondered, what goes on in the head of somebody that writes stories for a living or for fun? Some other things like book funnel. Again, if you're a writer, you'll know about that. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media stuff. Some summer fun. We've got summer hopefully coming, although it was storming outside for a little bit this afternoon. Other things like Draft to Digital, books to read. I want to start an indie author month, so I'll see where we go with that. I don't know when that will be, so if you have an idea of when we could do an indie author month, then let me know. Scrivener is one of the apps that I use. I write on Mac. Actually, I will tell you that I kind of write on Mac, but I also don't. But Scrivener is probably the best tool, in my opinion, for doing any kind of writing and organizing your writing process. What to do, what not to do with a website, research, Christmas lists, what are your wish lists, and things like this. So again, what I want to do is to be able to share a live video with you Saturday, right now. So what time is it now? It's 5 o'clock here in Eastern United States. That is 5, 4, 3, 2 in the afternoon. 2 in the afternoon on Sunday if you're out in LA. What time is it in the UK now? 10 p.m. 2200. And I think if you're in Melbourne, Australia, when is that? 9 in the morning or something, or 7 in the morning if you're in Melbourne. So if you're watching from all those places or anywhere in between, you can kind of figure it out. Go to Google. I don't know. So there we go. So some of the topics that we want to look at over the coming weeks. What else do we have here? Also, I think on a regular basis, I will give you an update on my writing, on the projects that I'm in the middle of. I'm working on two. One is the second of the Tom Guthrie trilogy. The first one is Tools of the Trade, which I just happen to have right here. So Tools of the Trade is this book. I don't know if you're seeing this the right way around. It's backwards to me, but Tools of the Trade in paperback and also ebook format, all good outlets, Amazon and everywhere else. So the second book is called Wind Damage. Probably about halfway through that at this point. And then I have another series that is a contemporary thriller based in the United States with the main characters called Andrew Stone, and that is Wings of the Black Eagle. I'm getting further and further along with that. That's been a long time in coming. I don't know if you can hear the thunder in the background, but a long time coming. But that has picked up pace a little bit here recently for a couple of reasons, and I'll tell you why that is in a little bit. So Wind Damage, the second of the three of the trilogy of the Tom Guthrie series, it will come out first, and then Wings of the Black Eagle should be pretty quick after that is published. You'll see Wings of the Black Eagle. Wings of the Black Eagle, by the way, is based on an aircraft accident that happened in 1933, and I just happen to have Time magazine where this was issued on October the 23rd, 1933, which is about a week after the airplane crash that story is based on. and it was the first ever bombing of a civilian aircraft, a civilian airliner. It's still unsolved. The FBI investigated that accident or crash, and it is still, no one knows who did it. I've got a file about this thick of all the FBI files back behind me. J. Edgar Hoover's signature on a lot of those documents, and the lead investigator, Purvis, was pretty famous back then, kind of the gangster period. So a lot going on in the writing side of the house, and so I'll do that on a weekly basis. I'll give you an update there, which also serves to kind of hold me accountable to keep my writing up and keep going, fingers on the keyboard style. So hold me accountable to that. So with this, just to get off topic a little bit and get away from writing and reading, I mentioned in the description of this video that we'd be talking a little bit of some other things as well, like pens and paper. So I want to go over a couple of kind of my favorite pen of the moment, or a couple of favorite pens of the moment right now. I love fountain pens. This one is from a company called Muji. And if you've ever been to Japan, I have not. Muji is if you're from the States, Target, or Target, as we like to say over here. Target, it's like a fancy Walmart. I hope they're not going to watch this. / IKEA. So they have all these very simple, functional, simply designed items, from towels and rugs and bento boxes to pens and notepads and things. So this fountain pen is a Muji fountain pen. Get it off Amazon. I will try and link that after this video or whatever, or on my website or in Facebook or something. And it is fantastic. This was like less than $20. It came with 3 cartridges, although I have a converter that I bought for this to make it a little bit simpler to use. And I've got a big old bottle of ink here that I keep on my desk for that purpose. Fantastic, really light. It's an aluminum, almost like a Bic pen. That's how light it is. So I love this pen. I've been writing with this constantly for the last couple of weeks. The other pen that I really, really like is this. It's a Lamy. This is an All-Star pen, another light aluminum pen. This is in a blue color. It has a medium nib on it. This one has a fine nib, which suits my writing, a really small handwriting. But you can see the difference there of, just how big one is versus the other. So if you like a large chunkier pen, these are great. Again, these are probably $20, $25, I guess. You can get them pretty much anywhere or online. So that's another little go-to pen. But this Muji has been in my pocket for the last couple of weeks, and it is just wonderful. So plug Muji, awesome. And the reason I say that I'm using this, I've been using this a lot, is because, yes, I use Scrivener to organize and write the stories. But here recently, I've got a day job. So like a lot of indie authors, part-time, I've got a day job. So that's why the stories take forever to write, because I spend, this COVID-19 thing has not been a big deal for me, because half my life I travel and the other half I just work out of this office, which is my office at the house. So with no traveling, I'm in the office at my house, sitting in front of a computer all day. And the last thing I really want to do, quite honestly, sometimes, a lot of times, is to sit in front of my computer and write a story. So I have resorted to writing in a notebook now. So I'm handwriting all this stuff down, and then dictating into Scrivener, and then going back and editing real quick when the dictation software doesn't do such a great job with my funny accent. So I've been doing a lot of writing with my Muji pen. So talking to notebooks, if you talk to my wife Christy, she'll tell you that I'm a bit of a notebook freak, fiend, hoarder, call it what you want. I have several over here. I won't, it's embarrassing to show you all of these notebooks that are empty over here, but I do like to collect them. So I want to talk about a couple of these notebooks that I really, really like. This one is a Code and Quill, which is where my notes are for this little chat. Code and Quill is a US company, lay flat, a really thin, soft cover notebook. They're a little bit different because they're dot lined on this one side, or dot grid on this side, and then indent lined on this side. So this is lined with little indent marks. So you get a bit of a best of both worlds. Again, totally lay flat. If you're a fountain pen user, fantastic paper. So this is a Code and Quill Traveler. It's about, well, I can tell you, it's about almost 8 inches by 5 inches. So a great little notebook. These are probably $15. I think you can buy these straight from Code and Quill, codeandquill.com for $15. Tell them Al sent you. They have no idea who that is, but so fantastic. And I use this, actually this notebook is my kind of social media notebook, and I've been using these for a couple of years. I actually had my backpack stolen a couple of years ago. It was returned to me, and I had all of my notes for my real job work in one of these, and I blanked one of those. I got most of the stuff back. A couple of electronic items I did not get back, and some Dairy Queen gift certificates, about $150 worth of Dairy Queen gift certificates that I didn't get back. But I was really most upset about the fact that my brand new unopened Code and Quill notebook never made it back to me. I am glad that everything else did. This other notebook that I just showed you where I'm writing in there, this is a Leuchtturm, if you pronounce that correctly, if I pronounce that correctly, Leuchtturm, 1917. I think they're made in Germany. Another soft cover. I like the soft cover. It has the pocket in the back. You can see it all in there. So I've got my notes, my plot notes in the back of this one. So this is the one I use to write. Because they're soft cover, I can just put them in my backpack when I'm on the road. They can kind of get smushed. I do have some hardcover ones. This is a Leuchtturm, but it's a hardcover. I love them, but they're not quite as easy to travel with. Slightly bigger than the soft cover. So I love my notebooks. And see, look, there's a red Code and Quill Traveler. Don't tell Christy I've got all these. So there you go. A little bit of what we're going to be talking about, hopefully, over the next few weeks. Join me every week, and I appreciate any questions you have. So this is just going to be a quick little video. I'm going to end it up here in a couple of minutes, but what I'll do is I will take the time to post a video on a certain subject on YouTube, and then if you have any questions, we'll get together and do this live chat at 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. In the UK, 2 p.m. if you're on the West Coast, and I think 7 in the morning if you're in Melbourne, Australia. Don't ask me if you're in Sydney or Perth, Australia. I have no idea how time works in Australia. It's upside down, I think. So there we go. If you have any questions, let me know. You can always email me at al@allanlmann.com. 2 L's and Allan, 2 N's and man, and a whole bunch of A's sprinkled in there somewhere. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching this, and we'll see you very soon, this time next week. Short and sweet, and take care of yourself and stay safe.